This is an experience I had in the astral plane. I often astral project from dreams and traverse the astral plane, and in some cases I am pulled into astral worlds. Such is the case with these experiences. In this one such experience, I found myself standing in the middle of a dark city. It was in ruins. I started walking down this long road. The sky was pitch black. There were what appeared to be lost souls roaming the streets, and everything was enveloped in a faint pale blue glow, so even though the sky was pitch black, you could still see. I kept walking down this road. Everything was in ruins. The city was quiet, and there was a building at the end of the road. The closer I got, the more entranced by it I felt. I felt as if I was falling into a daze. Once I finally made it to the building, I opened the door, and as I stepped inside, I was surprised to see that the inside of this building was unscathed, unlike everything outside. It was a white room that looked like a check-in station at a hospital. I went up to the window and asked what this place was, and the girl at the window looked at me, smiling, and then her expression changed, and she looked me dead in the eyes, and with a look I will never forget, and screamed, "This is not a dream, run!" Then as I tried to escape, I was surrounded by people in white coats. I put my hand out towards them and yelled, "Get back!" And they all fell down, but they got back up and started coming towards me again. So again I yelled with my hand out, "Get back!" I took that opportunity to run out the door. I started running down the road, and the white coats started chasing me, so I took a hard right off the road and ran into this ruined parking garage. And about halfway up, I encountered a being that felt all too familiar. He was a shadow being I have encountered throughout my life. He was disguised as a skinny man in a nice suit, with slicked back hair and a fancy mustache. He was black and white, like someone from a black and white movie. He was flickering in and out. I intuitively knew who he was. I could never forget that presence. I looked him in the eyes and said, "It's you." I took up a fighting stance. We stood our ground and stared at each other for a while. I made the first move. I went towards him, and then I was hit with this unbelievable pressure. It felt like the gravity was really heavy, pushing down on me. I could barely move, so I looked deep within myself. I showed no fear and embraced my emotions. My energy started to boil. I was enveloped in a golden glow, and I was able to resist the pressure. I went in for the attack and started trying to hit him. He kept dodging all of my attacks, but then my emotions flared up even higher. I became even faster, and I finally landed a hit. I punched him in the face as hard as I could, but all it did was jerk his head back to the side. Then he looked at me with a sinister smirk. I was startled and woke up. That was my first really crazy experience I had with astral projection. I encountered him again in another experience where I was in that ruined world again. One of the lost souls that were trapped in that world was trying to get away from him and told me that he had stolen something important from him and he needed to escape. I tried to help him escape. In the crowd of lost souls, I could see my adversary again. This time he was with two others who were coming after me. He looked the same as in my other experience, and they looked similar to him, but had different features. But they were both black and white and flickering. We kept running until we came across this old highway bridge. I told him to run and get out of there, and I stayed to fight them to protect the soul that needed my help. They appeared in front of me, and I knew that their appearance was a disguise, so I told them to show their true forms. Then the leader, my adversary, turned into a large hooded being of pure darkness with glowing white eyes. The other entity turned into a large being of darkness with horns that resembled dead tree branches. The third entity became a large dark being with what looked like bullhorns. They all had glowing white eyes and a white glow around them. I attempted to face them. I wasn't afraid, but they simultaneously lifted their right hand, sending me into a black lake. Before I could prepare myself for the fight, I tried not to go under, but black gooey hands started pulling me under, where I experienced horrible nightmares until I woke up. I decided I would call that river the Abyss. I also would call that world of his the Dark Earth, because it looks like our world but dark and ruined, almost like a parallel dimension to our world. These experiences piqued my interest, and I kept trying to find people who have had similar experiences, to no avail. But I did delve deep into research to find out more about these beings. They definitely seem to be at the top of the food chain in regards to shadow beings.